Europe was in dire straits. Many countries in Europe were having a lot of trouble getting their economies back on track. Um, in fact, many of their economies were in literal tatters, as in particular in England, where they were decimated by the Blitzkrieg. And so France and England were in significant trouble. But there were plenty of other countries that were in trouble as well. And the Soviet Union was lurking around like a vulture, ready to strike. And basically, for these people that were suffering, the Soviet Union was going to go in there, offer them a false promise that they were going to take care of them, that they were going to feed them, offer them some shelter, and maybe even a job. All they had to give up was their freedom. And basically, they said, you don't even have to worry about decisions. We got you. Well, this was going to be a significant problem. The Soviet Union was going to expand their influence in Europe, and now the United States needed to do something about it. Part of the Truman Doctrine was a plan called Marshall Plan. George C. Marshall came up with this plan to offer economic assistance to these European countries. Well, when you think of Marshall Plan, think of money. Marshall Plan, money. Marshall Plan, money. And, money makes the world go round. That's just how it is. Clothes don't buy themselves. Food isn't going to purchase itself. You can try to grow it, but even if you try to grow your own food, you still need the supplies to do it, and that requires money. And so George C. Marshall believed that if we were to support these European countries that are in need, that if we help them rebuild, if we help them get back on their feet, that long term, this will create a significant political alliance that can last for a while. And so we were able to give money, we were able to support European countries like England, like France, like the Netherlands, like Italy and Greece. And like I said, Italy and Greece were being targeted by the Soviet Union heavily. And so by offering support to these countries and by giving them a chance to rebuild, they didn't have to look towards the Soviet Union in times of desperation. And so we gave them a chance to get back on their feet. And with our aid, these countries were able to get back on their feet. And would I say that the Marshall Plan worked? I would say it certainly did, because Germany now is a significantly strong economy. Just think about how they were after World War II. They were devastated. England and France were in bad shape. Now they have pretty strong economies even to this day. Italy is now a relatively strong economy compared to what it was. And so a lot of Europe was able to get back on its feet, be in a stronger position than it was before 1945, or I should say before 1939, I should say. And so the Marshall Plan, I would say, was a success, and it did stop the Soviet Union from going into these areas, trying to exert their influence and power to get communism set up in those places.